welcome to today's video. Thank you for watching. I am Shannon, and if you haven't done so already, make sure to click and subscribe and ring the bell. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. So today's video is going to be a little different, and it's going to be probably the start of a little bit of a series, and it is going to be, I'm calling it Touring Plans 101. So if you have watched any of my vlogging of Disney or Universal, you know I am a huge fan of touring plans. So much that I actually ran into Len Testa, the founder and I guess CEO and president of TouringPlans, while we were in Disney's Hollywood Studios, and I had a total geeked out fangirl moment. So with that, but I do recommend the product to everyone when they ask me questions about, we're going to Disney, how do I plan, what do I need to do? I always say, get a TouringPlan subscription. It runs, I wanna say $14.95, I can't really say for sure, but I think it's $14.95 right now. And just for Walt Disney World, they also have plans for Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Universal. So there's just all these different ways that you can plan your trips for whatever you're going. We are currently members for, or subscribed for Walt Disney World and Universal. But at one point we were subscribed to both Disney Cruise Line and Disneyland. We don't have any trips planned at the moment, so when those subscriptions ran out, we did not renew. But I will absolutely get those subscriptions again if and when we, well, hopefully when, not if, when we plan those trips again. So today I'm going to go through kind of just showing you some basic tools that are available if you subscribe to Touring Plans, because it's really hard to explain what Touring Plans is all about to someone who just doesn't, you really can't see it until you subscribe. So I'm going to walk you through some of the basics of how I use Touring Plans, so much like just creating a trip, requesting a room, and then doing an actual touring plan for a park. So I'm gonna walk you through all of that today, just kind of basics, kind of show you the tools that are available when you subscribe to Touring Plans. I will say they did not sponsor this video. I am just a fan, and I have so many people ask me about it all the time. I figured it would be easier just to send them to this link, and here's the video, here you go, ask me questions after that. So that's the purpose of this video. I hope you enjoy it, and here we go. Here is my dashboard for touringplans.com. And as you can see, I do already have a sample trip populated. So if you have more than one trip scheduled, the soonest trip will be the one that pops up. So I have a sample trip, Walt Disney World, Polynesian Resort. And even though there's not fast passes right now, it does give you a reminder as to tell you when fast passes can be booked, which is 60 days in advance. And that also right now would also be your dining reservations. So if you wanted to add a trip, you would just go down here so you can see all my trips right here. The ones that are not highlighted are the ones that have passed. And if I wanted to add a trip, I would just click here and name a trip, put the dates in, pick the resort, and put in any information. If you have the reservation number, that's very important if you decide to do the room request feature. I will be going a little bit over that today, and then I will be going more in depth in the future regarding each specific resort on which rooms I would request. So that's what I'm not going to add another sample trip, but that's where you would add it, and it would just pop like this. So as you can see right there, it gives, so I booked right here the Thanksgiving week. So you have an idea, and this is the level of the crowds. And let's see, select parks. So I can go right here, that Sunday before Thanksgiving, and let's see what the parks are going to look like. So it says Magic Kingdom is a 2 out of 10, Epcot 3 out of 10, Disney's Hollywood Studios 2, and Disney's Animal Kingdom 2. Now, obviously, this is very weird this year because everything is different. So even though if it's a 2, lines could be pretty significant depending on the capacity of what's going on in the park. So all of that can change. Hours are changing. So this past weekend, they expanded the hours just a few days before the weekend. So that happens quite a bit. So that is the dashboard page. As you can see, you can select the park. So as you can see here, You can have 2 parks. You can have more than one park if you, hopefully when park hopping goes back, so you can kind of see what they are. Or if you're in between 2 parks, then you can put them both here and add them so that you know which parks, what the levels are. How to select a park and add a touring plan, which is what TouringPlans is all about. So as you can see, I clicked select parks, and this is for that first Monday. And let's do Hollywood Studios. We're going to pick Hollywood Studios on that day, visit park on this date, and then we're going to go back to the dashboard and click it on. And so it's going to bring us automatically back to our dashboard. And my computer's just being very slow. There we go. And right here, you're going to say add plan. And that is November 23rd. So I've clicked add plan. It's not clicking. There we go. And let's see, optimize the date. So that's the 23rd. And let's just put DHS, Hollywood Studios. And I always like to put in, we are road droppers. So even though it opens at 10, I am going to say that we are going to get there at 9:30. It probably won't make a big difference, but we will go from there. So proceed to attractions. I don't know why it's giving me information about Hollywood Studios, but it's still going to correct itself. So here we go. So then you just kind of go through and you click which attractions you want to visit. So you see Alien Swirling Saucer, check, check. So we'll do these. We pretty much like to ride everything. Now, Rise of the Resistance, you'll see when the touring plan is generated. That's kind of a monkey, a wrench in the plans because you don't know when your boarding pass is going to be. So just kind of keep that in mind. So Toy Story Mania, Tower of Terror, and Walt Disney Presents. And then you'll see if you click proceed, you're going to skip shows. And we always love, let's see, the Disney Junior. And there's a lot of things closed right now. So and then we also love the Vacation Fund. So let's add that. Seasonal items, there's not much right now. Proceed to meals and breaks. We love, let's say, Docking Bay 7. And we usually eat around, let's say, 12. And give flexibility of half an hour. And we usually take, let's say, 45 minutes because we want to take a break, add to plan, and that way it's going to give us that break in between the day. Proceed to evaluate and optimize. And there we go. And I am going to just let it optimize on itself. So as you can see here, Rise of the Resistance, it says you may need to join a boarding group. So obviously, if so, remove this step and write it off plan whenever you are able. So I'm going to leave it on here, just see what it says. And then we're going to hit optimize. So with evaluate, if I decided to move things around, but I didn't want, let's say we absolutely wanted to go to Tower of Terror first, I could move it. And then I would hit evaluate and it would readjust the times without moving anything. Right now, it's optimizing my plan with everything I want to do and putting it in the best possible order according to all their data. Actually, it has me starting at Tower of Terror. So there we go. Has me walking across the park to Muppet 3D. And as you can see, it goes down. So I usually start with the optimize, go from there. And we don't like to, again, Tower of Terror is on one end and then Muppet 3D Vision is on the other. So we would probably either take this out or move it around, maybe move Rock and Roller Coaster up. Let's see, let's move this up a little bit. And let's take Muppet 3D out because we don't want to do that. And so so now we're going to evaluate and go from there. So it's going to reevaluate our plan to see and I think it's better because these are right next to each other. So I wouldn't want to walk across the park if we're right in that area. So you can kind of do that, play around with it, and there you go. So now obviously the wait time is 82 minutes for Rocking Roller Coaster. We do not wait 82 minutes for a ride. So that might be a change in plans too. But that's kind of how you do it. And it'll tell you like if you run out of time, Basically, for Smuggler's Run and Rise of the Resistance, it's basically saying you're not going to have time to do those things. So we'll have to take something out, move things around, or maybe ride rock and roller coaster at the end of the day when the lines seem to be lower. What I would also say is this is where the TouringPlans app comes into play, because day of, everything changes, rides go down, and the crowds are unpredictable right now. So you definitely want to download the TouringPlans line app. The Lines app 2.0 is amazing. It'll also tell you, I'm not going to go into it too much detail right now, but it'll tell you, ride it now, the lines are only going to get longer, or wait to ride this, the lines will go lower, or ride anytime. So that's great. You kind of look at it because you just don't know what to compare. So this is a great, so there's a TouringPlan, and you can kind of view and print. This is my favorite feature because it kind of gives you a map, and then it says like 1, 2, and how you're walking. And we are not going to print today. So it is just, there we go. We're going to cancel. We don't want to print this right now, but there you go. And then it kind of puts everything so you can print it. I usually don't print them, but I do like to have them in a PDF just to kind of give it a nice visual. And then this will also appear in your TouringPlans app. So you can move it around, play with it in the TouringPlans app. You don't have to have it on, as a piece of paper. It will be in your TouringPlans app. So great feature of TouringPlans. And I wanted to show you a couple other things. And first up is we have the WDW Resort Crowd Tracker. So let's click on that. And this will give you, once you enter in your trip, it's going to send you alerts if there is a change. So if there's a change in the hours, or there is a change of what their predicted crowd level will be, they will send you an email. It is great because especially those last 1 or 2 weeks before your trips, things change, especially these days. So it's great to get those alerts, especially if they're adding hours, because sometimes they add the hours in the morning. So this is really, really great. So this gives you kind of a prediction. So let's say you can kind of also compare. So you can take a look at each and every day. So let's say we see that Epcot on Thursday and Friday are going to be 5. So let's say, okay, we can compare. Well, let's just not go to Epcot those days. We'll go in the beginning of the trip because it looks like the other ones are staying pretty much the same. So that kind of gives you an overview of your entire trip. It makes it really easy to plan. So we're going to go back here and let me show you the other feature that I also love, and that is the restaurant reservation finder. So this is the WDW reservation finder. It says this tool is in testing. I've been using it for several years and it works great. So I don't know why it still says it's in testing. You can have a maximum of 2 active searches at a time. And so here I put in for Be Our Guest, party size of 3, search for November 22nd for dinner. And I just put a fake email and phone number, and we're going to hit save. So then it's going to hit. So now I'm going to get a notification. So it hasn't been searched yet. There it goes, says not yet checked. But if a reservation pops up, it will email me and text me. So this is where if there is a reservation that you really want, you just need to make sure you are on high alert, because if you get a text or an email, you need to make sure you log into your My Disney experience or go online and book that reservation as soon as possible. I have gotten many a reservation through this reservation finder. So probably one of the best tools that they have on here, and it has really helped us get those hard to get reservations like Be Our Guest. And how you get there, so you go to the dashboard, is right here where it says WDW Reservation Finder. Dashboard, you can see one of the things I did put the room request, so that was 3914, but I didn't configure it yet. So I want to hit configure room request. So there's my name. You would input your reservation, your check-in date, the number of nights. This is your email. This is fake email, so don't try and email me there. And this is what it's going to populate. I would say this is there for a reason. This is what TouringPlans has developed, I believe, by speaking to people that at Central Reservations from Walt Disney World and how they book rooms. So what I would say is leave this and then put in any reasons why you want that room. Want a view of the lake, want a view of the fireworks, only want to be on third floor. So put what you want there, because if this room, 3914, there is 288 standard villas. The odds of you getting this specific room is 1 in 288. It's not very good odds. So if that room is not available, you want to give them an idea of what you're looking for. So because you might end up in the room 5 doors down with no view, and when you would have preferred to maybe be on the first floor instead of the third floor if you didn't get that room. So put whatever you want, be specific. I think that helps. If you're celebrating an anniversary, a birthday, put it in there. Everything helps. I will say the more specific I am, and also don't make a paragraph. I usually use bullet points, which helps. And I have been very, very lucky. So I'm going to click out of that. We're not going to save it, but definitely use that configure room request feature. Again, I'm going to be going over specific room requests for each resort in the near future, and I will go into more detail with each resort with that feature. As the website says, it's touringplans.com. So I am going to go into the touring plans. So this is, if you go up here, you'll see touring plans. And let's click on Magic Kingdom Touring Plans. This is one of the great things about this website is if you don't want to do that customized, personalized touring plan, you can kind of go here and look, touring plans for parents with small children, parents with tweens, touring plans for adults. So this is a really good, so I have a small child, so I'm going to click that one. And it gives you a couple different ideas on different touring plans. Look, late arrival, because that's a big thing. We are not morning people, but we are at Disney because we are rope droppers. We've learned that it's better to get there in the morning and take a nap in the afternoon. But I have friends that can't get there before 11. They just physically cannot get there before 11. So this would be a great touring plan for them. So I think take a look, see which one fits your family. Be realistic in what's going to fit for your family. If you guys can never get up in the morning and you guys are late sleepers, don't do an early morning rope drop touring plan because it's just not going to work. Do that late arrival. Figure out what's going to work for you. But these are great, especially for first timers, because they have really been planned out and they revise them. So I know they've been revising them with this new environment. So, definitely take a look. I think that's one of the best features of touring plans. And it's probably, I don't think that many people use it as often as probably they should. So that's it. We are back at my dashboard, and this is Touring Plans 101. So I just wanted to touch on some of the highlights of what Touring Plans offered, how I use it, why it's crucial to any Walt Disney World planning. As you can see also here, you'll look here, you have destinations. So you have Walt Disney World Resort, Disneyland Resort, Universal Orlando, Disney Cruise Line, and then Tokyo Disney and Washington, D.C. are free. So we currently have the Universal Orlando because we just started going to Universal for the first time. And then you have Disneyland. We had a trip in January of 2019 and this expired right after that. And then Disney Cruise Line. So there's just a lot of features here, really great. And then also I'll show you up here where if you can get a discount. So if you have an unofficial guide, so let's say the Walt Disney World unofficial guide for 2020, I believe 2021 should be coming out shortly, you can get a discount for your subscription to Touring Plans. So that's it. That are some of the basic tools that are available to you for Touring Plans. So now I am going to be starting a series, and this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. Some of the most common questions that I get are, where should I request my room? What's the best room to have, especially for DVC resorts? So I am going to be going through, for the next couple weeks, I am going to be going basically resort by resort, and I will break it up. So for Polynesian, I will break up the villas to the resort hotel side. I will break them up into two because they're two different entities. So I will be doing two different videos for that, but I'm going to start with the DVC resorts first and going through just kind of some recommendations of rooms that I would choose, some rooms that I would say I would not choose because there are some duds, and I actually had a dud our first stay at Boulder Ridge, which I think will be one of the first videos, and kind of just gonna give some ideas because everybody wants are different. Personally, we like ground floor rooms, but not everybody wants that. So I'm gonna go through some ideas of, kind of things to think about, and then also how to request your room through TouringPlans. They have this amazing service that 30 days before your reservation, they will email Disney to Central Reservations and they will request the room for you. I have had tremendous luck with it, and I will tell you, you may not think that a room is that big of a deal, but it can really make or break a trip. And it can we've stayed, for example, we stayed at Boardwalk Villas twice. And one time we had a great location, one time we had an okay location. The great location changed our minds about Boardwalk Villas because it just made everything easier. So that's gonna be coming up. So if you wanna make sure you get notifications for those videos, make sure you click and subscribe and ring the bell. And then hopefully if you like this video, click like, so that way it just helps people find my channel because I am starting out. So with that, thank you everyone, and I will see you real soon. Bye.